Father, Lord, we thank you for once again being able to serve this great city. We ask for your anointing in this meeting. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
indivisible, with
with
liberty and
liberty and justice for all.
Maybe six. Yeah. I just gotta find it. All right. I have my monitor. Here? Okay, there it is. Yeah, that could be a good idea. Okay, we have a presentation of the minutes of November 5th and approval of minutes. Oh, roll call.
Councilmember Deeds,
here.
Councilmember Bolden,
Here.
Councilmember Sansing,
Here.
Councilmember Ray,
Here.
Councilmember Mashburn,
Here,
Councilmember Trailer,
Here.
Councilmember Twitty,
Here.
Councilmember Smith,
Here.
Councilmember Collins,
Here.
Mr. Mayor,
I'm here.
all present, sir.
All the present and counted for. We're gonna have a presentation of the minutes of the November 5th meeting and the approval of minutes of the October 15th meeting. Take a motion second. Any corrections?
So moved.
Okay, any correction? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
aye,
All right, we approve the minutes. Did I hear anything on the consent agenda?
Move to consider agenda in entirety.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
aye,
All those opposed, nay. Okay. Kevin House, you're up. Talk to us about fence. For the dog park. Well, he just wants to give you an update.
Just so I get you on record.
And, kind of keep us informed of where he is in the process.
Got 3 bids tonight, and just so you guys know, this is not sealed bids. I was getting quotes from fence companies. And it turns out the low bid, Bill's Fence, actually has a tips taps vendor number. So it falls under like a state contract according to purchasing guidelines, correct, Cheryl? If we're gonna spend $22,000 without a sealed bid, I wanted you guys to know the reason why and answer any questions you might have about the dog park that we're gonna be building on
Can you
Marsh.
kind of tell us what it's going to involve?
It'll be two, large dog and small dog park with a dog wash station. It'll have water for the dog park, for the dogs in the kennels. We're gonna do a 6-foot sidewalk leading from the pavilion that's there at the recycle park now to the entrance of the dog park. A concrete area when you walk in, just trying to keep it from being so muddy. And I've actually had a citizen donate a few agility items, and we're just, let's get the bones of it in and figure out what else we can do for dogs to play on once we get it built.
And in the future, you hope to put a little playground.
Correct. Right. And just so you guys know, this is funded through A&P. A&P has approved this, so it'll be paid by A&P funds.
We think you're going to be. Okay, any questions for Ken, Les?
All right, on the Fence Brokers Incorporated,
Yes,
it's
sir.
got a black PVC extruded KP fabric. Is that something that sits on the outside of the?
It's the same. That's just what they're calling the fencing.
It's not like being hid from the street.
No, sir. No, sir.
PVC plastic.
It's a black vinyl fence. it'll match the same fence that is around the public safety building. It's just, basically, it's a chain link fabric with a black vinyl coating over it.
Any other questions?
One from Bill's fence, it's an aluminum or steel fence.
It's the same. It's a black vinyl. It's all of them are the same. I had them all three quote the same black vinyl fencing.
Bill's fence was a low.
They were, and they're the only ones with the tips vendor. So you don't have to do a sealed bid when they have that.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? Guys?
Actually, 8 gauge,
That's steel. Is it not?
The 8 gauge is the metal, but it is wrapped in, and it says in here, I believe.
It's wrapped in the code.
Yes.
Right.
all right, 8 gauge is heavier strands.
The 8 gauge is the actual metal, and then the lower the number, the heavier it is.
Right, like shotguns.
But what Fence Brokers has 6 gauge there, and I've actually talked with them to make sure we were comparing apples to apples. They're 6 gauges, including the PVC.
Okay,
The 8 gauge at Bill's and that Bill's fence is just the metal part inside the PVC.
all right, so apples and apples.
Correct.
Okay.
We're bidding apples to apples. Yes, sir.
Kind of figured we were.
Right.
Anything else? We're moving on. That doesn't take a vote. It's just kind of an update for y'all. Okay, we didn't have a used car lot meeting, so.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, at the last meeting, there's a couple things that we got a motion, a second, didn't get a vote. So we want to get a motion, a second to accept the audit. I've already got the motion, saying I need to vote. All those in favor of accepting the audit, say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Okay, and also the minutes, we didn't vote on those. So approval of October 1st, 2020 minute. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Okay, got that out of the way. Okay, so now then, it's time to start playing with the public meeting. For anybody that wants to participate in the public meeting, I have my cell phone here, and that number is 501-580-3830. That's 501-580-3830. So if you have any comment on the bond reissuance, please call in and let me know. Anybody in the audience, any member have a question. Leanne, you may come on down. How long do we leave the public meeting?
Until there was no public, do you sure there's no public comment?
Okay.
Close it after she states and then get whatever questions.
Okay, so it's after she speaks, we do questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, move your chair to that mic. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Is that mic on?
This one.
This one.
Is this okay? Would you prefer me to go over here?
No, we turn it. But no, wait, see, that way you're on the camera.
Okay.
We can see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Proceed?
Say your name. Go
Okay,
ahead.
great. Good evening, everyone. I'm Leanne Burnett with Stevens. You might remember me from the wastewater transaction we did a couple of months ago. I worked with Jack Trumper from Stevens. So today we offered your franchise fee revenue bonds. Those bonds in a par amount of $7,935,000 will be used to pay off your Series 2015 bonds and provide $2 million in project funds. Those are 20-year bonds, final maturity of June 1 of 2040. And I'm happy to report, now these were non-rated bonds, okay? The true interest cost 2.28%. So we were very, very pleased with that, particularly in this market with the pandemic. Everybody's looking at franchise fees and what is technology going to do to that revenue source? Plus, being non-rated, we were particularly pleased at a 2.28%. So what the ordinance in front of you does, and I failed to mention, Kirby Moralia is on Zoom. She's with Wright, Lindsay, and Jennings. She's bond counsel, so she's available to answer any questions. But basically, we would request that you pass this ordinance so we can lock in these interest rates. and move to close your bond issue on December 29th, at which time the project funds would be available. And then we would redeem the 2015 bonds on January 8th. And I'm happy to try to answer any questions you may have. And again, Kirby's online as well.
I think we might have asked him to you last time you were here.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see anybody calling in, so I'm gonna close the public hearing. 6:10. Okay, thank you. All right, I entertain a motion to place ordinance 1643 on the first reading.
So move.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Deeds,
Yay.
Councilmember Bolden,
Here.
Councilmember Sansing,
Aye.
Councilmember Ray,
All right,
Member Mashburn,
Aye.
Councilmember Trailer,
Aye.
Councilmember Twitty,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Collins.
Ordinance number 1643, an ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of capital improvement and refunding revenue bonds for the purposes of currently funding the city's capital improvement and refunding revenue bonds, Series 2015, funding the acquisition and equipping of various capital improvements and other related improvements in the city, providing for the payment of the principal of and interest on the bonds, authorizing the execution and delivery of a trust indenture, prescribing other matters relating thereto, and declaring an emergency.
thank you. All right, entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1643 on first reading, place on second reading.
Second.
Got a motion, second, any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Deeds,
Aye. Yes.
Aye.
Sansing,
Aye.
Ray,
Aye.
Mashburn,
Aye.
Trailer,
Aye.
Twitty,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Collins.
Okay, I entertain the motion to approve ordinance 1643 on second reading, put on third and final
So
reading.
move.
Second.
Got a motion, second, roll call.
Councilmember Deeds,
Aye.
Bolden,
Aye.
Sansing,
Aye.
Ray,
Aye.
Mashburn,
Aye.
Trailer,
Aye.
Twitty,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Collins.
Aye.
I entertain a motion to approve the 16.
So move.
Okay, roll call. Any discussion? Any other? No discussion? Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Deeds,
Aye.
Bolden,
Aye.
Sansing,
Aye.
Ray,
Aye.
Mashburn,
Aye.
Trailer,
Aye.
Twitty,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Collins.
Aye.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve the tax purchase clause.
So move.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Deeds,
Aye.
Bolden,
Aye.
Sansing,
Aye.
Ray,
Aye.
Mashburn,
Aye.
Taylor,
Aye.
Woody,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Collins.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Leanne. Kirby, thank you. What you do?
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Kirby.
Our employees down here like their cookies today.
Gain 50 pounds.
Yeah. I got the pick though. All right, so it brings us forward to 1644, amending the annual 2020 budget that's been sent to y'all. And it's also, so that, did you hand it out, Cheryl? So that's what you're doing? Okay. So I would entertain a motion to put 1644 on folks' reading.
So move.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Councilmember Deeds,
Aye.
Bolden,
Aye.
Sansing,
Aye.
Ray,
Aye.
Mashburn,
Aye.
Trailer,
Aye.
Twitty,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Collins.
Aye.
Ordinance number 1644, an ordinance amending the 2020 fiscal budget, making modified appropriations and authorizing expenditures for operation of various departments of city government and the purchase of materials, supplies, equipment, and services, covering general fund operations and for other purposes.
Okay, any discussion? Cheryl, would you explain, please?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Normally, if our revenues or our expenditures go over 5%, then we have to amend the budget. And the main reason for us amending the 2020 budget is because we are receiving the CARES Act grant. And so that, of course, was more than the 5% that we're allowed to have in differences. I have a list of the items that were additional purchases that we're going to be making in 2020. And that's what I was passing out this evening. And so I can email to the people who are on Zoom, the council members that are on Zoom, I can email them this list, but I can go over them real quickly. In the police department, they're getting some body cameras, a riot helmet, some batons, SWAT vests, jackets, an ID system, drones with an iPad, a license plate reader, cameras, night vision, and shredder, HDMI for the training room, 2 Lenovo towers, CAD license, handheld radios, and 2 administrative vehicles. The fire department is going to get handheld radios, burn building materials, air compressors for station 2 and 3, an SCBA air compressor and filling station, iPad replacements for engines and ladder truck, and turnout gear. The Parks Department will are going to be purchasing weed eaters, trimmers, blowers, hedge clippers, 2 mowers, 2 trucks, replace carpeting in office area of the community center, and install security system. The IT department is purchasing 20 laptops and the upgrade for the council chambers. 911 is getting handheld radios, a generator, headsets, 4 chairs, and a toaster oven. Courts will be getting 3 filing cabinets, 2 scanners for IDs, sanitizing fogger machine, 3 hand sanitizing stations, 3 laptops, a tablet, a printer, and self-service kiosks. Animal control is getting security cameras and additional cleaning supplies. And we're also going to be transferring $700,000 to the capital equipment fund for computer and vehicle purchases in prior years because, or in future years, because of timing issues, they were unable to be purchased this year. So I'm moving that money over to capital equipment to be purchased later.
Okay. And it's kind of a rising department for those vehicles, right?
Yes, yes.
Any questions from the council on
Is this 100% paid for by the CARES Act?
Yes.
It's probably overpaid.
The reimbursement, or is the money already there?
The money has already been requested from the CARES Act. We were able to submit what we have paid for the patrol officers, their actual hours worked between March the 1st and October 31st to cover our allotment of the CARES Act funds.
And so we looked at that we need. Like the court, you hold out your hand and it'll read your temperature and draw a printout before you go through the metal detector. Things that, you know, you put your hand underneath, a lot of touchless
And,
stuff.
and we're assured that we will get this money.
Yes.
We're buying it and then getting reimbursed.
No, they're gonna send us the money no matter what.
Yeah, we've already submitted for the CARES Act grant using the police department's actual hours worked, since their normal duties had changed due to COVID. Then we were allowed to submit that information in order to get our reimbursement for that. So that means that the money that we normally would have spent on their salaries, it would go back into the budget to where we could purchase other things, which is what we're doing with that money.
So we're not getting additional money for this, we're using money that would have been spent somewhere else for this.
Correct.
And we don't have, we're assured that we don't have to pay back the CARES Act money.
Correct.
It wasn't a loan.
Correct. It's not a loan.
Yeah, it's just a grant based on population and that sort of thing. And so, we're like Chiefs radios, they're the fire chief here, and you can't get parts for them anymore.
I understand that, I just want to make sure that we have the money to do this.
Yeah, right. Yes, the money should. Right?
Yes, I've already submitted the paperwork and I've already submitted the payment request. So I'm just waiting for them to send it.
Harry, you have a question? All right, anybody online have a question? That's what the governor does. Anybody online? Okay.
So-
Any other questions?
So I was gonna ask a question. So,
Okay, Mike, go ahead.
okay, so how much money is each department getting? Do you have that figured out?
I
Just
do
for
not,
us?
I do not have that broken down individually, no.
Okay, I was just interested in what it was, but it sounds like a good use of the money for everything that's needed anyway to benefit the city. So yes.
Yeah, we met with each department head and figured out if we need to purchase it this year. So we met with each department head, what do you need to keep your people safe and what we need to go forward. And these are the things that they request.
Good. Right. Okay. Sounds good.
And some of these items is what they had put in their 2021 budget request. And so, so I have taken it out of the 2021 budget since it's going to be purchased this year. So I'm going to be sending another preliminary budget out, hopefully tomorrow to everybody for them for review. And then we can either have a special city council meeting on the 30th or else December 1st to kind of go over it to where we can answer any questions on the budget. And then it will be ready to be actually voted on the first one in December. I think it's December the 3rd. I think is the date on that.
Okay.
And I'll be sending you all an email to get what you think about after you get the budget, what you think about when to hold that meeting, if you want to hold it.
All right,
Yes, sir.
Cheryl, we have an allotment document from the federal government?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
It's from the state, isn't it?
Well, it came from the federal government to the state and then the state allotted it out to the cities and the counties. And
Right.
we've got that. Yes.
Yes.
Now you're speaking the language.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Cities with about the same population, census got the same amount, like Sherwood got the same amount we got within a few dollars. Cabot got a little less than we got. So that's just how they allotted the states, the portion to the cities. So we have a lot of extra expenses this year, masks, gloves, sanitizing equipment. Any other? Online? Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1644.
So
on
moved.
first reading, place on second reading.
Second.
Okay, got a motion, second, roll call.
Councilmember Deeds,
Aye.
Golden,
Aye.
Sansing,
Aye.
Ray,
Aye.
Washburn,
Aye.
Taylor, Woody,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Collins.
Aye,
I'd entertain a motion to approve ordinance 1644 on second reading, place on third and final reading.
So moved.
Second. Take a motion, any further discussion? We do this almost every year. We do it every year, Cheryl?
Yeah.
Every year? Yeah.
Usually,
Yeah, she was showing me the graphs and it's like, okay, the blue's this, the green's that, and it was, every year there's always an amended budget, just almost every year. There is one, so this isn't unusual. Okay, so I got a motion, say it, roll call.
Councilmember Deeds,
Aye.
Golden,
Aye.
Sansing,
Aye.
Ray, Washburn,
Aye.
Taylor,
Aye.
Woody,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Collins.
aye.
Okay, I entertain the motion to approve and adopt, 1644.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Deeds,
Aye.
Golden,
Aye.
Sampson,
Aye.
Ray,
Aye.
Mashburn,
Aye.
Taylor,
Aye.
Woody,
Aye.
Hill,
Aye.
Mullins.
Aye.
Does this have emergency clause, Stephanie? Oh, I'm looking at the screen. It should look over here. Does this have emergency clause?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, all right. Save that portion of it then. Moving on to further business, the sewer commission requested appointment of Jerry Sanders to fill the unexpired term of Terry Vick to expire 4/20/24.
So move the appointment.
I got a motion, a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. And just something that I want to make clear, just so that people in the audience, council members, we saw the Supreme Court ruling saying for the I-30 crossing, they can't use the 5% half-cent sales tax money. The money has already been set aside and it's funded. It has nothing to do with the half-cent sales tax to expand 67-1, 67 through to 3 lanes east through Jacksonville. That's already there and it's not. I've been in contact with RDOT, met with them a couple times, and that money, and actually Senator Bozeman has got us about $60 million, I think, $50 or $60 million towards that project. It's working to get more. So it's a different pot of money. They got lots of pots of money down there. So I just wanted to tell everybody, because I don't want to think that this project's going to stop because of what the Supreme Court did. Okay? All right. So, and they're still going to do the I-30 crossing too. They just do things the way they, kind of do it. We were going to have a special order, Tommy Bond. I'm going to turn the floor over to you. If you want to talk to it. Next month, we'll have an ordinance. So I think, like, for the public and for council members to be aware of what this ordinance does, and Tommy's.
Tommy, I'm gonna beat you in the mic, I'm sorry.
You want to sit right at you?
Yeah, sit right here and get to that line.
Right here. Okay. All right.
Well, I'm somewhat unprepared in that I was not prepared to make a public deal on it. But what this amounts to is I think next month they will submit a request to de-annex a portion of the old Dupree Farm. And the portion is this, I don't know whether you can see that or not, there's about 628 26 acres. The majority of the property only touches any developed area in this 80-acre tract here and over in this area here, which is Oneida. This is in the area right in here. This touches Oneida Street. But the majority of the property is surrounded by undeveloped land, and I guess probably 100% of it's in the floodplain.
Floodplain.
What?
Floodplain, floodway.
Both, yeah. What?
A lot of it is in the floodway, yes.
Okay.
Is the only part they're looking to de-annex what's inside the red?
Yes, well, no, it's actually inside the yellow, I think. Yeah, that's Brad Medlock property. We've previously talked about both properties, but I think this one is strictly Brad Medlock property. Is that correct?
I think so, yes. That's correct, right, Tara? Tommy, could you do this in digital and send it to Susan so she can send it to all the council?
We have that.
Oh, you have the map?
I've already sent it.
Okay. I didn't know.
You've got a small version of this one, but it's the same map, yes, and the same color code too, I
So
think.
it's not the, It's not the red. It's the yellow.
The yellow is the Medlock property, which is the 622 acres.
Yep.
And that's all that I think is being involved in this.
You said it does touch Oneida.
It does touch Oneida, right there. But what that is, when we were doing the Dupree development, you see this strip through here, that was the original plan for the North Belt Loop. This other strip going on the west was part of that. And that little strip in there is actually Kellogg Creek. If you've been out there, you've seen the dam that's the lake over in Sherwood, and then Lake will run. And that 400 feet through there is a strip that was left out. And it was really set aside for future extension of the North Belt Loop through there.
Right.
RDOT actually owns the right of way through there to Oneida.
They own 50, almost to Oneida. They own about 50 some odd acres in there, which is the strip in between the two parcels.
So where it touches Oneida, is it on the Sherwood side or is it on the Jacksonville? I mean, going towards the bridge, or is it back up by the lake?
It would be right at the bridge.
They, to
Okay,
touch
so
this
it's on,
land,
it's on the south end of Oneida, not the north.
Well, yeah, it's right at the bridge, because it's centered on Kellogg Creek, which is where the bridge is.
you went out there, Sherwood Road, and, they shortened the guardrail so that road could still be used to access it.
They want to annex it. They want to annex it.
They want to de-annex.
It was brought in 25 or 30 years ago.
Well, and we had that big project on out there that, the market crashed. And then it got rechanged to floodways and not floodplains.
Yeah. When that original document went out, and in amongst all the whereas statements, it didn't say why. It didn't say what the desired effects of that was. And I had talked with folks before. It was about hunting. Now,
I have not had any direct talk with Mr. Medlock in several weeks. And, in fact, I did, well, I guess last week, there was a request from Hubert Alexander's office for the legal description. And then Tara asked me to come and talk to you guys.
I'm sorry, Les, could you repeat your question, please?
what's the purpose of the de-annexation?
The purpose of the de-annexation is for hunting.
That's straightforward, and thank you.
Right?
No, that's what I was just gonna say. I thought it was for hunting. I've had several people email that live in North Lake that were concerned that we were going to allow people to hunt inside the city limits.
Right. I've gotten emails and phone calls from Delterra, North Lake, and Western Hills.
And I think we were all in agreement that we did not want to allow hunting inside the city limits.
Correct.
Correct.
Now, there still would be a lot of hoops to jump through. You gotta get the county
I think
judge.
all we're doing is passing the buck if we let them de-annex and then say, we don't care if you hunt. It's the same land.
Right.
Same
It's
location.
too close to a house, it's too close to a house.
And, I would like to know how close it is to a house.
Well,
It's close to 9, that's close to our house.
I think we can provide you that information pretty easy, and I think that this corner, this upper corner of this is an 80-acre tract in here. The upper corner of that is in the edge. It is on the western boundary of the subdivision there, I think Western Hills subdivision. That's in, that corner is about midway in there. So that does have some proximity right in that area there. And there would be some proximity down here in the Oneida area, as well as maybe along in this area here. But I think it would be reasonably easy to develop a legal description that would take those areas of concern out of the.
What would be easy, what would be better would be an overlay on Google Maps.
We can do
Because I
that.
can't read legal descriptions.
We can do that.
Yeah, I don't know about how many degrees and all that.
Well, I'm familiar because I've been there.
No, it's just easier to.
Yes, I fully understand that, and I think that's easily done, yes. And I think we could probably suggest some,
Well, what's the website, the county website? I mean, it would have that.
yes, it
Pages.
does,
property and-
It does.
Yeah. so I
it
mean,
does
I'll look
exactly,
at
it
that.
shows it on there. I'm not sure it's updated to the point where, since Brad acquired it, which I think they've only had it a year maybe.
It's on there.
It is,
Yeah, because it was all one Dupree thing, Three Brothers.
It shows it on there.
Okay, I hadn't looked to this.
I just didn't know what property, whenever they were emailing me, I didn't know what specific property, they were just concerned because they were told a hunting lodge had already been built on it. I told them I didn't know, I know they came to the city about building anything.
but I think it'd be pretty easy to create some buffers in the areas where there's residences.
I don't know if it's a noise thing as much as you're just worrying about somebody shooting at you. Or towards, not at you, but towards you.
Yes, I understand.
Friendly fire.
Well, if it was shotgun only, no long rifles, it would be a lot safer.
I agree.
But,
But if we de-annex, we have no control over that.
That's right.
That's absolutely right.
No control at all.
I don't know if the Game and Fish would do, now there's some places that they do have certain regulations on things you can do. I don't know if they would do that for you.
I think you could, well, if you de-annex it, then you lose control, yes.
That's right.
But if we don't de-annex it, I don't want to allow hunting inside the city.
No.
With the proper buffer zones, Game and Fish Commission will go in there and they are good about implementing hunting rules for certain areas. If they decide to allow deer hunting in there, they could restrict it to shotgun only.
And, I don't know how much power the county judge has over that. It would become county land if we de-annex. It's all involved,
But a duck hunting lodge wouldn't hurt anything being de-annexed. You can put your proper buffer zones away from the housing and they're should be in good shape.
Okay. Any other discussion on this?
That's actually a large enough area that you could set up a small artillery impact area in it. Literally.
Only the tank driver would think that.
Don't confuse me with the tank.
Don't take that.
I'm
He
artillery.
couldn't fit the tank.
He's a cannon.
Oh, you can popper.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Claymore Mines.
Okay, Tommy, thank you for coming down here. I think we gave you some work to do.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Bishop, would you come up, look at the camera and show people your mask and talk? So, he's wearing a special mask that his church bought for their choir. And, they allow you to be able to hear better. They don't muffle the noise like these do.
Okay, I want to stand up here and show you this mask. If you notice, you can hear me very clearly. Our choir, we just invested in this so we can sing. So the governor came out, the choirs have to wear masks. So these are very, very proficient. I mean, we can hit our notes when we need, and it's not muffled. But it hooks up over your head, around your neck. It stands out from the lips so you can breathe easy. But I tell you, it's a great tool. To show you example for singing. Oh, say, can you see? So you can hear real. So therefore, you know, I think it'll help us out.
I'm considering the council members getting those.
Oh,
Yeah, of course.
Does it help with the fogging of your glasses?
yes, it does. As a matter of fact, the nose of it is down, so it keeps it from falling. It goes directly under the chin.
Glasses don't fog up. Very good.
You know, if we're gonna try to be in person, so we'll get our new equipment, I've considered those are $32 each.
$32.
Yeah, $32.
How much? $32 a piece. Oh.
You know, for council member safety, it might be something we want to invest.
And it comes with a filter also. So it's,
Well, I like the way that I can hear him so much better than some other people these
yeah,
days.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
like this. Yeah, I agree. I just wanted him to show that off. He brought me the information on it. I can look at it and for any feedback council has, I like it, don't like it, whatever.
And I can hear him better than I can hear you, your man, so. it's
Oh,
very easy.
much better. That's why I do this, because I don't muffle.
yeah. It's not muffled with this one.
Okay. Anything else, come before the council? Is that all right? All right, I entertain the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. Adjourn. Thank you.
I wonder about a dozen of them from you, Dr. Ken.